Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review In the Tall Grass, and this is another Netflix original adaptation of a Stephen King novel. And this is starring a cast of some young actors, including Laisla de Oliveira and Avery Whited. But honestly, when you think back to this movie, the one performance you're going to remember is Patrick Wilson hamming it up. Because honestly, that was the most memorable part of this movie, is Patrick Wilson quickly going insane and acting all crazy and trying to murder people, because this movie is a hot mess. And you start this film, and this young woman who's pregnant, who's driving out to San Diego with her brother, hear this boy screaming out for help in a large cornfield. Because you should just wander out into a cornfield in a movie. But they go in, and for some reason, they're taught in this weird time warp where they see their own dead bodies and keep seeing people from different time periods and all kinds of weird shit like that. And this film has some very interesting, intriguing things about it until it starts explaining them, overly explaining them, or not really explaining them at all, and then it starts spiraling out of control and kind of loses itself. And that's a really frustrating thing, because this film started off with a lot of promise. I'm like, okay, this is interesting, because I didn't know what this was about. I've never read the novella by Stephen King that this is based off of. But once you get past this point where like all the characters are set up and you get the basic premise, all the choices story-wise that come after this seem to just be either, let's make this an extremely over-the-top, ridiculous slasher film, and Patrick Wilson's the only one who seems to think that he's in that movie. And then the rest of this movie trying to explain all these weird supernatural, time loopy kind of weird things that there's not a whole lot of reason to. And visually, there's some very creepy imagery in this film, but creepy imagery and a hammy performance don't make a good film, and this film, by the end especially, doesn't really add up to much, and by the end you're just like, whatever. And they do try to make these moments, it's like, because this sister and brother are caught in this cornfield along with her ex, who's the father of this child, and all that human drama just feels like melodrama, and you don't really feel connected to their plight in this film. And also they make some interesting, bold choices about some of the characters, including particularly her brother and his intentions. And I'm going to leave it at that, because it gets weird. But honestly, this film doesn't really click, especially towards the end. Like, the second half of this film just feels like they had a bunch of ideas and just kind of let them go, and they spiraled out of control. But for those genre seekers out there, you'll be creeped out enough, I think, by this film to enjoy being able to just plop it on Netflix and watch it on your TV. But if you're expecting more than that, then this really isn't for you. But those are my thoughts on Into the Tall Grass. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for supporting your Wasteland Reviewer.